I like to think that most of the time I go, oh no, don't get the expensive thing, it's not worth it. This is not that video. Say hello to my little friend. This is a Dyson Neural hairdryer, which means that I spent a stupid amount of money on a hairdryer for probably no reason. But this is why I did, and it's partly nostalgia and partly a bit of a gift to myself. First up, the nostalgia element. When I was working in Australia, I was in this big multi-storey building and you rented an office, or your company rented an office, and in the basement there was a shower. There were multiple showers, so it split like men and women, and you had to use your pass to get in. It did feel like a little bit sketchy, but I used to get in early on Vic Transport because I think before 7, if you clocked in both sides before 7, then it was free. And I was like, that is a fantastic deal. So I clocked in before 7, and then I went for a run, and then I had a shower, and it just worked out really well. I was in the office hybrid days. I think it was like 3 days a week. It really worked for me. Plant's not in the right place. They also provided the towels, which was so convenient. There was like a big pile of clean towels that, yeah, they were scratchy because they'd been through the wash a few times, but you use a towel, you put it in the laundry basket, and then they did the service for you. It felt really luxurious, even though kind of it wasn't, because like they were not really fluffy like 5-star hotel towels. Not that I actually know what that feels like, but you know, you can tell that they've been through the wash a few times. They were communal, but the fact that that facility was there was great. And also with the time of day I was using it, I mostly had it to myself. Sometimes there were other people there doing their makeup and stuff, and I didn't like it. I liked having all 6 of the cubicle. I mean, I only used one, obviously. I used the one that I always use. It was nice. It was nice to have that space. It was nice to start my morning with a run, feeling accomplished, being in Australia, and then having somebody else do a towel for me. Though I did have to remember all my clothes, which is the downside of going to any gym or anything like it. There is a point to this story. They started off with bog standard hairdryers, and I very rarely use a hairdryer because I am lazy. When I used to drive to work in the UK doing a similar thing, I either put the windows down if it was summer and have, you know, the air just blowing around my hair, or I used to, in the middle of winter, just like put the heating up because it needed to be on anyway, and just like blast the fans for a bit, then brush my hair when I got to work, and it worked really well. All about time efficiency. You could argue the extra petrol spent on the lack of air efficiency or the heating maybe didn't make it worth it, but I don't know. I also have quite a lot of hair, so it takes a while for me to dry it with a hairdryer. Anyway, they had these bog standard hairdryers. I think I used them because I was going straight into the office, but sometimes I definitely did not use them because I was just like, well, it's still really early, not everybody gets in immediately. They're gonna judge me, really? I mean, it just looks like I've gone for a run. My face was freaking bright pink anyway, because that's what my face does when I go for a run or do any heavy exercise. But one day there were some engineers in, and they installed freaking Dyson hairdryers downstairs. There were 2 of them. They were a lovely pink and gunmetal colour. And I looked up the price. I think this was one of the rare occasions that there was somebody else in there. We both kind of went like, is that Dyson? I thought that's a little bit on the expensive side. I think at that point I was not happy that the change was occurring. I was like, this is a space that is sacred. I don't understand why you're putting money into something that was working perfectly fine. It was very confusing. But then I used the hairdryer, and it's a very good hairdryer. Like, you would expect something with the price tag that I had to be that good. It's relatively quiet. It's got some fun attachments that I could not for the life of me work out to start with. Turns out when I'm by salty sea air, my hair is quite curly. It's naturally relatively curly, but it gets curlier. So when I used the curling attachment, it was pretty wavy. So the first thing I did, obviously, when I got to my desk was Google how much these hairdryers were. Quite expensive, as expected. But it was just an extra luxury that my normal mediocre hair drying routine was just replaced with these neural things. And I will say it didn't have this little bullety thing in the middle. This has got a mirror in it. I've got more freckles than I remember. I think it's the light. It's making them very visible. It was the generation before this one. It's just a little bit of fun, a little bit of luxury that I wouldn't have dreamed of doing if it was not thrust upon me. And forever after that, that is what I associate Dyson hairdryers with. That time in Australia where I was like, why are they installing Dyson hairdryers in an office basement that isn't used that much? As you know, we came home for a little congratulations to me. I got a new job. I was like, you know what would make my life a little bit nicer? A hairdryer. I wasn't convinced I'd use it that much, but actually I've been using it every time I have a wash now. Because this takes about 5 minutes to dry my hair. Historically, hairdryers have taken a lot longer. It takes about 2 minutes to dry my husband's hair because he has very little hair. My hair just takes a while to dry. It's not very porous, but I think the water there's quite a lot of it. It just seems to stay in there for a while. So 5 minutes is quite a long time. And I can feel the impact it's having. It's so impressive. But I'm not saying that this is the best hairdryer out there for doing just that, because I think other ones do a similar job now. I am not in the habit of buying hairdryers. I've not done a comparison of A to B. The only reason, well, 2 reasons that I got this was nostalgia and the fact that it was like a new job present. And to be honest, I'm a little bit sad it's not a pink gunmetal one. It's a really good hairdryer and the colours keep changing. This was the tamest one. I didn't really like the turquoise and terracotta one. It's good quality. If not for those factors, I don't think I would have this today. But the reality is, for me, those factors were there. All that to say, yeah, completely don't waste your money on something you don't want. I wanted this. There were reasons that I wanted it. I get use out of it. And it makes me happy. I like to think my general balances don't go spending stupid money. That doesn't mean if you don't get a boost from it, and you shouldn't get something you like just because you like it. We're very lucky to be able to do that. Just be you, be happy, and I'll see you next week. Have a great one. Bye.